My name is Mac. This is my garage, and this is going to be a much shorter video than what's usually on my channel. If you hadn't watched the last video, I would advise doing so. Yay! A couple days after the fact, I was driving home from work and I saw that another issue had reared its head. Hopefully this one should be simple. I'll go ahead and close the door. And turning on the headlight switch reveals that my radio light is out. The radio still works. If I put in the key and turn it to the auxiliary, I can still pick up a station. So to me, I think it's either just the bulb or a bad connection. One of the two. I'm going to go ahead and take out the dash, the gauge bezel face, and undo the faceplate of the radio. And we're going to see exactly what's going on. Shouldn't be too long, hopefully. Yeah, it's going to be a little weird, but the tripod's going to have to exist in here, that way I can get the right shot and the angle. First step is to remove the dash pad, and that way we have better access to the bezel. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to be spilling the beans, but I don't necessarily have this pad screwed down. I've taken the dash out of this truck so many times that in order to screw it in now would be pointless. It hasn't moved around, it doesn't make any noise. It stays exactly where it's supposed to be while it's not screwed in. So I don't have any issue with that. Then we're going to take off the bezel using a Phillips head screwdriver. Trying to be as delicate as I can while unscrewing and making sure that I'm placing the end of the screwdriver directly where the screw is. If not, this wood grain applique that's on this bezel is really thin, and just any little prick from a screwdriver or a sharp piece will just take it right off. So I'm trying to be careful because, again, they don't make this piece anymore, especially not with the wood grain. It's super hard to find, and if you find one in good shape, people ask an arm and a leg for them online. There we are. We'll go ahead and move this to the side. Take very good care of this. Just a quick glance at the gauge cluster. You can see where the factory hole is for the clock or tachometer if you had chosen to get either of the two in this year. As far as I know, and somebody in the comments might correct me on this, but I have never seen a truck that had both. You could only either, at least for 72 to 74, get a tach or a clock in this opening that was right here. And both of those were specific to those years. The tachometer and the clock changed after 74 with the different dash design. Now, even if we look at the back of the gauge cluster bezel, you can actually see that there is a cutout in the plastic for where the clock or tachometer would have gone. Being that this truck did not come with either, you can see that it's just covered over by the wood grain applique that's laid over on top of it. It was probably done as a cost-effective means to not have to produce two different kinds of gauge cluster bezel. Rather, it could just be an applique with a hole or without. Back to the radio. At least in my case, I have these two bolts that hold the radio down into the actual metal frame of the gauge cluster. So we're going to go ahead and take those out. I'm also, just for the sake of being able to push it back and out of these two little areas where the pins are kind of holding it up into place so it doesn't move around, I'm going to be undoing the Phillips head screws that hold in the frame to the actual metal of the dash. I don't have to remove the whole cluster. I'm just going to be undoing this one here and this upper one here to give me enough leverage to be able to shimmy the radio out from those two little pins. I don't have to take the whole radio out, I just have to slide it forward. That way I can access all of the bolts that hold down the face. There's 4. I'm going to go ahead and just move this back a little bit and try to push the radio at the same time, just like so. Hopefully not crushing my finger in the process. A little bit. And that way I can slide the radio up and out, like so. Just enough. I don't have to pull it out all the way, but just enough to then access this upper bolt that's here. And then there are 3 others that hold it. Start by taking off the knobs. That's really the only thing that we have to take off. These chrome buttons are not in the way of the face. The knobs just pull right off. There is the one, and these are 2-piece. You have this outer end here and this lower piece that should then be a little bit easier to undo, like so. And now we just have 4 bolts be able to be removed. That's the last one. And now this faceplate should just come right off, like so. It's actually in really good shape. There's no cracks anywhere on any of the mounting points or on the top or bottom, and the chrome little bezel that's around there is in really good shape. Pretty cool. This is not the first time that I've taken this radio apart, by the way. The first time was actually because I was very irritated by seeing the dust that was inside of this little box where the actual orange bar goes back and forth to seek for the station. So I took it all apart just to clean it, because I'm a little OCD with certain things like that, especially on this vehicle. Try to maintain it and keep it as clean as possible, at least for what it is. It's not perfect by any means. After which you have these two Phillips heads that are on the outer ends of this face here, and that piece should then fall right out with the Phillips, like so. And what I did is I actually used a wax that has micro abrasives in it to polish this piece that's right here. You want to be careful if you happen to have the same radio, just because the solid state by Chrysler Corporation is on the outside of this face here. You can't feel any of the numbers with your finger, but you can on the solid state by Chrysler Corporation. So try to be careful with a wax if you're going to use that. That way you don't accidentally wax that, and the micro abrasives take that off. The wax itself did a decent job. I did the front and the back side of just cleaning the lens. There are some scratches in it from general wear, but it looks night and day compared to when I first took it out. And there's one final plate that was also being held in with the Phillips, and once we take this off, we should be able to then have access to that light bulb. Try to be careful. So I'm just going to actually use one of the knobs. Don't have to put it on all the way, but I just at least want to turn it enough to get that orange bar off of this metal piece, because there is this little white, and that way I can then pick out the one side, trying not to bend this any more than it has to be. We'll go ahead and move the knob just a little bit more all the way till its furthest point, and then I can just slowly rotate this piece out, trying not to damage or scratch any of the chrome buttons. Like so. Essentially the back of what you're seeing through the lens for the radio then reflects the light over the top of the radio. Right behind there you can see the bulb, and I'll go ahead and pull it out. I'm not too worried about touching it with my bare fingers here, but should be able to just slightly turn it and have it come out of its little socket there, like so. I would say that that bulb is toast, but you can see on the side, if the camera will pick it up, it is an 1816. Now, on page 59 of the original owner's manual that I have, there is a light bulb specifications section, but it does not list the bulb size for specifically the one that lights up the inside of the radio. And I just so actually happen to have in my workbench a pack of 1816 bulbs. Go ahead and put in the new bulb. Now, I can't unfortunately get a better camera angle. You're just going to have to believe that I'm currently putting the light bulb in. And it's in. We're just going to do a real quick test. And there you go. I'm not going to bore you with anything but just a time lapse of me installing the radio and having everything back in the truck. And just one more time with everything back in place. There you go. The radio light is back on. So when I say I don't know anything about electrical, I really don't know much of anything. It's not my forte. Still trying to rack my brain around some things sometimes. But if I could give any advice from this video, check the bulb or check the connection. In this case, it was the bulb. So I hope that helps. And with the radio's light back in action, I can say that that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below telling me what you liked about the video or what you didn't like. And please consider subscribing to my channel for future updates on this truck or my Mustang or any other vehicle that the near future holds. Until next time, take care.